One of the critical components of successfully implementing PBIS in your school is to ensure that your PBIS leadership team meetings run smoothly. This video will outline the foundations of a quality PBIS team meeting. By the end of this video, your team will be ready to create and utilize an efficient and effective agenda for PBIS leadership team meetings. Regardless of what type of meeting you are leading or participating in, there are a few basic guidelines to help things run smoothly. First, it's important to establish a regular time and location to meet. Next, as you begin each meeting, take a moment to review the norms your team has created. It's also important that you have a professional agreement to hold each other accountable to these norms in a kind and professional way. Another key to successful meetings is to use an agenda to keep the team focused. Your team might want to establish a process for how and when team members added items to the agenda. For example, your team might decide that any agenda items to be considered this week must be on the agenda 24 hours prior to the meeting. This would prevent taking any time away from the meeting to add items to the agenda during the meeting. It's important to document ideas and plans that the team discusses during each meeting for future reference. This will provide the team a way to quickly reference previous conversations and brainstorming sessions. Lastly, remember to assign roles and responsibilities of team members. If you haven't done so already, consider who on your team will be the facilitator, timekeeper, data manager, and note taker. You might have other roles that are important for your team, but that is up to you. Your note taker will use meeting minutes to document your meetings. This can help guide the team through problem-solving processes and ensure that decisions that are made today are recorded for future reference. In addition, you'll document the data that is used in the meeting minutes to ensure fidelity of implementation as well as progress toward the goal of your team. During your PBIS meetings, your team will use a problem-solving approach to encouraging positive behavior and addressing challenge behavior at a Tier 1 level. As a reminder, your team will start by using the information you have to identify a precise problem statement, then identify a goal for change and a solution. You'll implement the solution, monitor the impact of the solution, and then make a data-based decision about whether to maintain, modify, or end the plan. In order to do this, you need to build an effective agenda. Step 1 is to ensure that you have time to update and report on progress on past action items. Then you'll need an opportunity to address tasks that are time sensitive. You'll need time to review a current summary of data and time to complete the problem-solving process if needed. Lastly, you'll need an opportunity to update, review, and assign new action plan items. Let's take a look at these more in depth. Step 1 is for the team to review progress on past action items. This might include an update on how data was shared with staff at the last staff meeting, a review of how many staff have retaught an expectation, or information gathered from parent input. Really, this is anything that has been assigned to a team member and ensures that timelines are being met. Step 2 is to consider time-sensitive tasks. This would include any upcoming events, plans to implement steps to address challenging behaviors, or a way to count acknowledgement tickets to determine if students have earned enough for the assembly. In this section, the team should assign tasks and establish due dates. Step 3 of the agenda is to review current data. If the team has recently completed the TFI, you should review the results and compare them to the previous assessment. At each team meeting, the team will review the most recent ODR data. You'll notice that in this form, the team reviews an average ODRs per day, per month for the last month and the current month. You might be wondering why they would look at ODRs per day instead of the total ODRs per month. If you only look at the ODRs per month, it might not give you an accurate picture of what's really happening. For example, the month of December is much shorter than October. If you were only looking at total ODRs for the month, it might be considerably less in December. But remember, there were less days in the month. So if you look at the ODRs per day per month, it would give you a better picture of what is happening on a day-to-day basis and allow you to compare one month to the next, regardless of the number of days in each month. The last agenda item is to go through the problem-solving process if your data indicates a new problem. This is the process we walk through during the training, and it will help you to identify a precise problem statement, a solution, and a plan for implementation. Don't forget to add any action items that come out of this process to your to-do list. Now that we have reviewed the components and practices of an effective PBIS team meeting, your team will take time to create or revise an agenda. Please review the example agendas in the PBIS shared folder, and then develop an agenda to be used in your school. When you have completed this task, upload a copy of your agenda into your school's folder in the Tier 1 folder in the shared drive.